If you want to know how to ask killer sales questions and close more deals, then you are in the right place. I'm Amy Walker, and I help small business owners and entrepreneurs to be able to grow their business while maintaining balance in their lives. And today I'm going to share with you my favorite sales questions that I use personally and also use with my clients so that that process of getting the yes becomes easy and smooth and natural. For all the tips that you need to grow your business and maintain balance in your life, make sure that you subscribe to the channel and hit that bell so you can get notifications when new content comes out every Tuesday. If you are not a natural born salesperson, it's okay, nobody is. I've yet to meet a baby that comes out of the womb closing deals. I was personally terrible at sales when I first got started, and now I am extremely comfortable closing deals. It is not a big deal for me at all to ask for $5,000 or $10,000 or $100,000. I understand that it's just a process of creating a good value exchange. So what we want to do is get you to that point. And sales questions were one of the turning points for me, and is also one of the turning points for a lot of my clients, because knowing what to say really is half the battle. So if you are ready to be able to close deals with confidence, know exactly what to say, then you're in the right place. Make sure you have a notepad and a pen for this one, because I'm actually giving you scripted questions. So when you get done with this video, if you watch until the end, you are going to have 6 of my favorite powerhouse questions to help you close more deals. All right, before we jump into the actual scripts, there's 2 things I have to tell you first. I want you to close more sales in the next 30 days. And if you want to do that, it is absolutely there for you. It's a pretty easy process. You need to talk to more people and you need to have better sales conversations. That's it, my friends. And one of the things that you've got to understand in order to have better conversations is how the questions work. So your mind has a filtering system. It decides what gets in and it decides what does not get in. And statements can be accepted or rejected based on if your subconscious likes them or not. Here's an example. If I say to you, the sky is pink, you can say back, no, Amy, you're crazy. The sky is blue. That's what color crayon we use. That's what we see in paintings and pictures. And you can choose to reject that statement. However, if I ask you the question, have you ever seen a pink sky? You could then think back through and you could think of sunsets and sunrises and times when you've seen the sky have a pinkish tint and a pinkish hue, and then you could be in agreement with me. But if I tell you, the answer is no. If I ask you, we can get there. Questions are the key to opening up the subconscious mind so that you can have effective conversations. Sales is so psychology based. Now we're going to be respectful, we're not going to be manipulative, we're not going to be creepers when we're getting into people's subconscious, but being able to open that door is critical, because right now, I don't know if you all have experienced this, people's minds are very, very full and they're very, very busy. When you're talking to them about your product or service, they're thinking about money, they're thinking about their children, they're thinking about challenges that are going on in their family right now. They're thinking about their to-do list for tomorrow. They're thinking about, I wonder what she thinks of me, right? There's so many thoughts going through their minds, and the best way to quiet that so that you can get your information to land is through questions. So that's why we're going to be using these questions and why they're so critical for you. All right, one more tip before we go into the actual scripting of the questions, and it is your qualifying questions. One of the fastest ways to waste time and have unsuccessful sales calls is to have conversations with people who are not qualified. You need to know who your ideal client is and what those qualifications would look like. For example, when I am working with a client in my business, I need to know things like, have they been in business for a while, or are they brand new newbies? Because I have a program that is for people who are established business owners. I got a program for brand new newbies. I'm not going to have the wrong conversation with the wrong person. Finances is another qualification. I don't want to have a $25,000 program conversation with somebody who has a budget of $100 a month. So that is a qualifier that determines which direction we go. Another qualifier that I have on all of mine is do they have a strong commitment to growing their business immediately? If they're thinking about doing it in a year, I'm not going to be their girl because I move too fast And I ask a lot from my clients. I ask them to do work now, not a year from now. So I am a terrible resource for somebody who just wants to absorb and learn, and they don't actually want to get to work and put things into play. So I have qualifying questions that I ask at the beginning of the conversation so that I know, are they a fit for me? Are they not a fit for me? Occasionally, someone pops onto my schedule I get on, they don't even have a business yet. And I don't help people launch new businesses, I help them grow and scale their businesses. And so they would be disqualified because they don't have a business, they just have an idea. They need to actually be doing work towards their business before they're ready to work with me. So that would be a disqualifier. Sometimes I've gotten on with people and they're financially disqualified. They need free resources. They are about to be evicted from their apartment. They have no job. They are making $0 in their business. This is not the time to have a sales conversation, right? This is the time to direct them towards your free resources and resources that they might have in their community that would be free resources for struggling business owners. But it's not the time to try to close them on a deal when they're about to be evicted, they have no credit, they have no money, they have nothing. That's gonna be a frustrating conversation for you and for them. So let's ask those qualification questions in the beginning, find out if they're a fit for us, and then we can move forward into my super amazing questions. They're gonna help you get more yeses. Here we go, question number 1. If it turns out that we're a fit for each other, how soon are you looking to get started on this project? I love that question because that tells me their level of seriousness, and it takes away an objection that would come up later, which is the timing's just not right. So if I ask that at the beginning and say, so if it turns out that we're a fit for each other, how soon are you looking to get started on this project? And they say, immediately, this is the top priority. And then we get to the end, they can't say, well, I'm just not sure if the timing is right. They can't use that excuse. We have taken that away. So it also lets me know if there's somebody who is just pre-looking, they're not actually ready to purchase, they're just doing some pre-work and searching and kind of getting ideas and brainstorming. I'm gonna have to do one of two things there. I'm either gonna have to layer that sales process over the course of a few months until they are ready, or I'm gonna have to get real specific in why is now not the right time and see if it's valid or not valid, because that's gonna change the course of the sales conversation. So that, my friends, is a money question. The second question, what is that costing you right now? So we need to assign a value to the problem. So when you get to the point in your conversation where they are telling you about the problems, what's not working for them in their life or their business, you need to ask that question. So what's that costing you? Because most people think about this backwards. They think, what is the price of the solution, not what is the cost of the problem. We're gonna flip that thinking by getting them to assign a cost to the problem. For example, let's imagine that you are terrible at sales like I was when I got started. How much is that costing you? For me, once I learned how to sell, I've had a 6-figure a year income ever since. But it took me some time to learn how to sell. So what that was costing me was 6 figures a year and more, because it didn't stay at 6 figures, it grew from there. So that cost is actually pretty high. So for me to invest in a sales course to learn how to sell, easy, of course, because I can see that the cost every single year is compounding how much that stinking problem is costing me. Make sense? Question number 3, if we could solve X, what would that be worth to you? So now we're doing the follow-up question to question number 2. How much is that problem costing you? The follow-up question is, if we could solve that problem, how much would that be worth to you? Now what we're doing is we're assigning cost to the problem and we're assigning value to the solution so that it positions it correctly in their mind. This is all about positioning. If you can position your product as being less expensive than the cost to their business, and the value that they'll get is also higher than the cost of your product, it becomes very easy to say yes. For example, I have a sales and marketing mastermind where I help people to get their marketing and their sales rolling. If I ask somebody, how much is it costing you to have these challenges with your sales and marketing? And they say, well, gosh, I feel like it's costing me thousands of dollars every month. Okay, great. Now we have a cost of thousands of dollars every month. And I say, well, if we could solve your sales and marketing problems, what would that be worth to you? And they'll say things like, it would give me peace of mind, I would have less stress, my wife would be happier with my business, or my husband wouldn't bug me so much about what I am or am not doing in my business, and it would make me feel better, and I could probably hit that six-figure mark that I've been wanting to hit. All of a sudden now I can come in and I can offer this sales and marketing mastermind, which I know is good and I know it works, I know creates results, and I can offer it and it feels like a value, it feels like a good deal instead of feeling like something that they go, oh, that's expensive, right? Because the cost is high of their problem, the value of the solution is high, and now they look at my mastermind and they're like, that's exactly what I need, it's a really fair price, let's say yes. And it makes it very easy for you to get that yes. So those two questions go together, but there's your questions 2 and 3. All right, question number 4, I ask this before I talk about my program. Always, before I talk about my program or my deliverables or what's included, I always ask this question. How committed are you to reaching your goals? Or how committed are you to solving this problem? The reason why I ask that question is because if they are not committed, they will not say yes. And they need a chance to be able to go inside and see, am I committed to that outcome? Because when you get to this point in the sales process, people are expecting you to say, are you committed to working with me? They're not expecting you to ask, are you committed to yourself and your goals? It totally shifts the process. Instead of you being the person who's trying to make them commit to you, you are now the person who is asking them if they're committed to themselves. And if they're committed to themselves, then great, we can be a helpful resource. If they're not committed to themselves, I'm going to have to talk them into closing, but then I'm going to also have to talk them into working. And that's just too much talking into. I would rather find somebody who's just committed to their goals. Pretty easy. All right, question number 5, this one builds off of question number 4, those ones go together as well, is, and how committed are you to making the sacrifices or changes that it will take to get you there? That one pauses people in their tracks. I cannot tell you how many people I ask that question, so how committed are you to solving this problem? Or how committed are you to reaching your goals? They're like, oh, I'm committed, 100%. And then I ask the question, all right, and how committed are you to making the changes or sacrifices that it will take for you to get there? And they're quiet and they have to think about it. I need to know that information and they need to know that information because I'm about to ask them to make a decision and to do some hard work and to stretch outside their comfort zone and to put some money on the table, like put the money where the mouth is. Is that what that saying is? So I'm about to ask for that. And if they haven't actually said, yeah, I'm committed to doing the work of it, then they're just committed to the idea of it. And there are way more people in this world that are committed to the idea of it than are committed to the work of it. And they're really hard to coach. So we don't want to work with them. All right, last question. This one was so awkward for me when I was getting started in sales. I didn't know what to say. Like when I'd get through my presentation, I'd show them all the stuff, and then I get to the end and it was like, maybe if I smile at you enough, you'll just be like, I want to buy everything. It didn't really work that way. So I just needed a question that was just an easy, simple, straightforward way to ask if they wanted to buy from me. And I would hear so many fancy words that you could say, and this is what works the best for me, so you're welcome to borrow it. It's just simple, it's clean, it's easy. So what do you think? Does this sound like it's the right fit for you? And then they get to say, yeah, it sounds like it is the right fit for me, or it might be the right fit for me, or I'm not sure about this or that, and then we can go into overcoming objections and all of that. But usually when I ask it that way and I say, so what do you think? Does this sound like it's the right fit for you? What I do is I get an answer that's a little bit distance from money, right? So they're not saying, yes, I'm buying. Right now they're saying, yes, it does sound like exactly what I need. And then I get to say, great, well, let's go ahead and talk about how you can get started. So that transition works really well for me. So what do you think? Does this sound like it's the right fit for you? And if they say yes, I say, great, well, let's talk about how you can get started. And it just makes that transition into closing the deal really clean and really smooth. So there you have it, my friends. Those are my scripted power questions that you can use to help you close more deals in the next 30 days. Now, if you're hearing this and you're saying, it all sounds good, Amy, I took notes, I am just still scared, then you need to work on your sales confidence, and I invite you to go into the description, click on the link for my free ebook that helps you build your confidence in sales so you can get started making that shift right away. Also, if you want to join a community of business owners just like you, please jump in and join my private Facebook community, the CEO Spot, where you can connect, ask questions, be a part of my live Q&As, and really get connected with a supportive group of entrepreneurs to help you navigate this sometimes challenging space of entrepreneurship and growing a business. All right, so thank you so much for watching. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Please share this with any other entrepreneurs in your network. I would love to hear from you in the comments. And make sure you go over and join the Facebook group and get that free ebook. You guys, I can't wait to hear your success for your sales in the next 30 days.